Hey guys, welcome back to Check Your Leader TV, and we're now about to start the Battle of Mont Saint-Jean. You would have seen the preliminary video, I hope, and if you haven't, I highly recommend you do, because in that video I give all the details in regards to the orders of battle, a bit of a terrain brief, and also I go over the deployment of the forces. So we're not going to muck around, we're going to go straight into it now. It's the beginning of turn one. And let's have a quick look at the battlefield before we start rolling for Corps Commander's orders and then sorting out initiative. This is a Corps level game. The French have 3 divisions on table with a couple of cavalry brigades off table. The Prussians and their allies, for their part, they have two infantry divisions on table, including the Guards Brigade. And Blücher has held back the entire division under the command of the Prince of Orange. So Blücher is holding an entire division off table, as well as 2 brigades of cavalry. So Blücher is keeping a lot up his sleeve. And so with that, let's have a quick look at the battlefield and then get straight back into it.
Now, before we start, there is one slight change, well, I say slight change, to the battlefield from the preliminary video. I measured the distance between Hougoumont over here and La Haye Sainte, and I determined they were a little bit too far apart. It's slightly less than 2 kilometers from La Haye Sainte across to Hougoumont as the crow flies. So what I've done is I've brought Hougoumont slightly more to the left by about 6 inches. It might not seem a lot, but I can't help myself. I need to get the ground as close to reality as I possibly can. And I didn't want to give the French a disadvantage or the Prussians an advantage by forcing the French to stretch a bit further than they ought to. So that's come across. All the troops are still in their same relative positions. I've just truncated the distance between Hougoumont and La Haye Sainte to be more accurate. Now, I'll also touch on why Blücher has kept an entire division off table. Now, I hope this will help explain. So here's Hougoumont and here's La Haye Sainte. The French currently deployed in this area here. Now, I'm using this book. This is Volume 2, Waterloo, the Campaign of 1815 by John Haye. If you can get these Volume 1 and 2, I have both. I highly recommend it. They're fantastic if you want to have a good grip of the campaign. But anyway, I digress. The bottom line is the French are deployed from the ridge line here, just to the rear of Hougoumont, across to La Haye Sainte. And this is basically the area of our war game we're fighting in here. Now, Blücher is well aware that Napoleon is marching probably up this road here to come to the aid of Davout. Just as Davout is aware that Wellington is sending troops down this road, or maybe down this road here, to help Blücher by attacking him in the rear. Hence, this is why Davout has detached the cavalry brigade from the 12th Infantry Division, the 7th Hussars and the 6th Chasseurs of Cheval in the vicinity of Waterloo, basically as a tripwire to alert him of the approaching Allied troops from the rear. Blücher, for his part, what he's done is he believes that with his 2 infantry divisions and the Guard, the Prussian Guard, he's got sufficient troops to crack this nut. So what he's done is he's kept the entire division of the Prince William of Orange off table in the vicinity of where the Guard heavy cavalry is here. The reason for that is they're close enough to support him if he decides he needs them to destroy Davout, but at the same time, if by around, I think it's off the top of my head, don't quote me on this, around about turn 12, that's when there's a possibility that the French from Napoleon's forces could be approaching. If necessary, he can detach that division under the Prince William of Orange to delay Napoleon while he withdraws, if required. So it could well result in another battle happening just down this road here from Hougoumont down towards the road towards Naville. So there could be another battle there between the French Imperial Guard and Prince William of Orange. Now, it's not just the French Imperial Guard. There's also, I think, another division with them. Suffice to say, there could be another battle down here. But if Blücher is of the opinion that if I commit Prince William of Orange now, I can defeat Davout, that division is there for him to do it. It's also worth noting that what Davout has done is he stripped the horse artillery batteries away from the Guard Cavalry Brigade and from the Dragoon Brigade under Panzernau, and he's formed a corps artillery reserve. So in this game, the French have got a corps artillery reserve of 2 horse artillery batteries, and Blücher is keeping an entire division off table. So they're things that are worth considering as we go forward in this battle. And one other thing worth noting before we start is the 13th Infantry Division, which consists of this brigade here and this brigade here, is quite a small division. Now, they do have 2 artillery batteries attached to them. This battery is attached to this brigade. That's the 6-pounders. And then the 12th Regiment Heavy Company Artillery, they're attached to this brigade here. Now, there's only 2 infantry brigades in this division. How did that happen, you might ask? Well, remember, they detached a brigade. They're essentially a brigade of recruits, or Marie Louises, to defend Naville. And their cavalry brigade, which was Panzernau's Dragoon Brigade, that has been transferred to the 12th Infantry Division. The reason for that was the 12th is situated on the flank. Their cavalry, the Hussars and Chasseurs, were removed from their command and sent to Waterloo to be the rear guard. And Davout decided that he wanted to have cavalry on both flanks. So the 12th, the Dragoons, the 7th, I think it's the 2nd and the 7th Dragoon Regiments, they have been transferred to the 12th Infantry Division from the 13th. As a consequence of that, this brigade is small. It only has 2 infantry brigades, but it does have 2 batteries to sort of offset that. So that's the other things I think worth mentioning. And so now we're going to get straight into the battle proper. First we're going to do corps orders for Marchel Davout. He's got all but red, so he's got black, blue, and white orders. Now we're going to roll for Marshal Blücher. And he's got all but black. So now we're going to do ADC availability for the French 12th Division. They have 4 brigades, 1, 2, 3, and the cavalry off table, which is 4. So they're rolling 5 dice. And they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're rolling for the French 13th Division. Now, only 3 ADCs available for them. And they get 2. And now for the French Guards Division. They have 3 brigades all up, a cavalry brigade plus 2 infantry brigades. So they're rolling 4 dice. And they've got 4 all up because they've got a double 6 there. So they'll have 4 ADCs. All right, so now we're going to roll for AD camps for the Prussians. We'll do the Prussian Guards Brigade first. 5, 5, 6. Okay, so they've got 3 for the 1st Infantry Division. They've got 2. And for the 2nd Infantry Division, they've got all 4. Right.
Now we'll allocate commands and...
Okay, so I've rolled for all the Prussian brigades. The Guards Division, their infantry brigade got a forwards order. They passed. Being bold is helpful, I guess. Everybody else passed. These guys had skirmish order. They passed. They had that's just a neat roll. They passed. We had artillery assault here. They passed. And they had nothing over here. He's poor. And they passed. So all the Prussian brigades are obeying orders. This bodes well for turn one. And now I've rolled for the French brigades. Again, they've all passed. This brigade here got all the ADCs for the division. A skirmish tasking here, a skirmish tasking in the BUA, a skirmish tasking for this line here. So that was this brigade here. They passed. The 51st Regiment passed. The Swiss passed. These guys failed, and so did this brigade here. So both brigades in the 13th Infantry Division failed, but all the other Young Guard brigades passed. So they had 2 failed brigades. So the French will be rolling 4 dice, taking the lower 2, and the Prussians will be rolling 2 dice.
Now, oops, almost made a mistake. Core level game is for every 2 brigades that are hesitant, you roll 1 extra dice. So it's not going to be 4 and 2. It's simply going to be 3 dice for the French because of the 2 hesitant brigades, and 2 dice for the Prussians. And the Prussians have the initiative 10 to 7.
Okay, so we start off with charge declarations. No charge declarations for either side, so we'll go straight into movement. We will start with the Prussians. They have a forwards order with this Guards Brigade, so they're going to get 6 plus 5 is 11 on top of their normal movement, which is 9 and 12. So with that said, we'll do all the movement for the Prussians and then we'll come back. Okay, so the Prussian Guards, their brigade skirmish lines moved over to the right. They had a lot of movement and they've used it. The Guard Schützen have changed formation into skirmish order and then advanced towards the French. And on the other flank, we have the Prussians advancing also in support of the Guards. Obviously, they're pushing in on Haye, Sainte. Other than that, there was just some formation changes here, advancing by the skirmish lines and a tentative advance from the 1st Brigade within the 2nd Infantry Division. So that's all the Prussian movement done. Now we'll go over to the French and then start shooting. Okay, so for the French movement, simply the 51st have moved one of their battalions down towards the sand pit, with another battalion moving up with support. The Swiss battalions, 2 of them are formed line. The skirmish screens have advanced, so they're at least 12 inches away from their batteries, so that gives the batteries free play. And that's it for the French movement. So now we start with shooting, and we'll start with Prussian skirmishes. All right, first shots of the battle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brigade skirmish line 6. 6 dice into this French skirmish line here. And that is a good start. That is 4 hits. So 2 casualties. Okay, and now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it's a light infantry unit, but they are rifle armed. So again, 6 dice from the Guard Schützen. Part of them is obscured, but over half can hit. So if over half can shoot, they all can shoot. So it's 6 dice from the Guard Schützen. 6, 6, 4, 5. Again, another 2 hits. So that's 1 base plus 1 carryover left on these guys. Now this brigade here, this brigade skirmish line, 4 bases, plus 1 is 5. Only 1 single hit, so nothing from them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they have the skirmish tasking, so that'll take them up to 7. And 1, 2, 3. 3 hits, so 1 casualty. So now the French will return fire. So they've got the skirmish tasking, they've got the skirmish tasking, and so do they. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, then 7, and then 8. So these guys here, they're going to shoot at the brigade skirmish line. 3 hits, 1 casualty. BUA is going to fire out. They're going to shoot at these guys. Now there's woods there's intervening woods there. I can see some of them. So, but they should. The majority is under cover, so they will get cover. So it's 5 for the garrison, 7 for the. So it'll take up to 7 because of the skirmish tasking, but the cover will take 1 away. So 6. And they've got a 5 and a 5. And the rest were all misses. So that will be 1 casualty on these guys here. And then finally 8 dice, and they're going to shoot at these skirmishers here. Wow, that's good shooting. 1, 2, 3.5. That's a base off these guys down here. So they are no more. Okay, so now we'll start with the artillery fire, and for the Prussian gunners, this battery here, no artillery assault fire. They're going to fire at the 6-pounder battery here. Their tasking is predominantly to drive off enemy artillery, so they'll fire at them. It's going to be a long-range shot, so inferior. No pluses and no minuses. 7, it's going to be 1 hit. Now, this battery will fire. They're firing with artillery assault, and they're going to fire at the same target. So 8 is going to be 1 hit plus a 5, so that's another 1. That's 2. So that's 3 hits on the 6-pounders all up. And so now we'll go over and do the French artillery. Okay, so the first to shoot will be these French 8-pounders. Effective range is just about here, so that would be inferior if they were actually weak if they were firing into the light infantries, these guys in skirmish order. So they're going to fire into the column, so it's going to be at long range. So just a long range shot. They'll need at least a 7 to get a hit. And they've rolled a 9, so I think that's 2 hits on these guys here. No bounce through. Yeah, no, actually 9 is 1 hit. It would be a discipline test if it was canister. So 9 inferior battery. I've rolled a 9. 1 discipline test if canister or elite. So then they're not firing canister and then not elite. So 1 hit on this Prussian veteran regiment here. Okay, so the next battery to fire is going to be the Imperial Guard artillery attached to the Young Guard. This battery is hesitant, so there's nothing in range. Same with the 6-pounders, unfortunately. So that just leaves the Old Guard artillery, elite gunners. This will be neat, and they're going to fire across at that column who's just begging. It's like they're sticking out like a sore thumb. So they're going to give them a bit of a touch up. Right. All right. Napoleon's daughters unleash their fury. Artillery assault. So red dice is the shooting, and the CDs will be the white. Okay, they've got a 7, so 1 hit and nothing else. That was a bit underwhelming for the Old Guard. My favourite troops of the entire Napoleonic War. Old Guard artillery. But a 7, it's still a hit, and not a bad first salvo for the day. So that ends, there's no volley fire to be had, so that ends turn 1, and we're going to go on to turn 2. It's now 0900 in the morning. So now we'll roll for Marchel Davout's Corps Orders dice. He's got again anything but red, so the red's out of the equation for him. And now Marshal Blücher, he's got everything. He's got, yep. He can choose anything he wants. So now we'll roll for the French 12th Division's ADCs. 1, 2. That's all they've got. They've got 2. The small 13th Division, possible 3 ADCs. And they've got 3. And the Young Guard Division, a possible 4. They've got 3. Thanks to the double 6. The Prussian Guards Division only consists of 2 brigades, infantry and cavalry, so they roll 3. Oops, got to be inside the box. And they've only got 1. They've got 1 ADC at their disposal. The 1st Infantry Division, possible 4. And they've only got 2. The 2nd Infantry Division now, with their possible 4. And they've got 2 as well. Okay, so now we'll roll for the Prussian initiative. Now, they've only got 1 ADC in the Guards Brigade, or the Guards Division. He is bold, so he does get an automatic reroll, and he will go with skirmishes with the Guard Schutzen. So two dice, and he's passed. All right. Moving along, no reroll or no attachment for this brigade here at all. The 1st Brigade in the 1st Division, and they're fine. 2nd Brigade, 1st Division, a reroll with the skirmish task. Oh, he needs the reroll, and he passes. So far, so good. Now, Blücher is going to use his red command order and going to give the core ADC to the 1st Brigade, 2nd Division. And so they're going to use both their ADCs for artillery assault, and they're going to use the core ADC for a reroll, and they've passed. Now this chap is a poor commander, so doesn't really matter. He's just going to get just rolled neat, and he's passed. So no hesitant brigades within the Prussian army. So now we'll do the French. Okay, so there's, in this division, 1 ADC to the 51st Regiment for a reroll, and they need it, and they've passed. The 2nd Brigade, which is the light infantry, they're going to use 1 ADC for a reroll, and that's all they're going to do, and they've passed. The Swiss now, they've got nothing. They'll just have to take what they get, and they've gone hesitant. Okay, 12th Infantry Division. They're just going to go artillery assault without a reroll there. They've gone hesitant again, and they're giving a reroll to the 2nd Infantry Brigade, and they've passed. For the Imperial Guard, the batteries attached to the tirailleurs, they've got a reroll and artillery assault, and they've passed. And now for the voltigeurs of the Guard, and they've passed. So we have 1 hesitant brigade, sorry, 2 hesitant brigades. We have the Swiss are hesitant, and this brigade here is hesitant. So if the situation is the same as before in regards to initiative. So again, it's 3 dice to 2. And the French have the initiative for this turn, despite being having a brigade that's hesitant. Noted that Davout has gone for a release brigade. He's going to, that's his core order. He's going to try and bring on the core artillery reserve. So 2 batteries of horse artillery. He wants them brought on. Let's see how long the turn delay is. Okay, 2. I think that's going to be 2 turns. So a 2-turn delay, but the core artillery has been summoned forward.
Okay, movement for the French. Essentially, the brigade skirmish line that was here is stepped back. So this is the brigade skirmish line from the 51st Regiment. They're stepped back towards the sand pit to get some cover from there. Over half the units in the cover, so they'll get cover from the sand pit. The Swiss brigade skirmish line, they also advanced in support of the skirmish line from the light infantry brigade. They're still within 18 inches of their close order troops, so they're perfectly fine. So that's the French movement on the French left flank. Prussian right flank, we've seen infantry brigades continue to edge forward. The brigade skirmish line has come forward again, remaining fully within 18 inches of their nearest close order friends. And the Guard Schützen have come up to almost within, well, just outside 3 inches, so as close as they possibly can get, and they'll start firing into the BUA, trying to attrit the garrison before the obvious assault goes in to try to capture La Haye Sainte. There was no movement to speak of on the Prussian left flank for the Prussians, and virtually none on the right flank of the French. Oh, and the only other thing is this battalion that was moving down towards the sand pit has thought better of it and has formed line instead, just to make themselves less of a conspicuous target. So now let's go and do some shooting. Okay, so for the French, we'll start from the left and work our way across. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're shooting at this brigade skirmish line here. 1 hit, no casualties. Now the garrison shooting out with their 5 dice. They're going to shoot at the Guard Schützen. 5 dice, but they're going to drop 1 because these guys are in the woods. So they've got some light cover, but they still managed to get 2 hits, which will take them up to another casualty. Now the brigade skirmish line from that from this light infantry brigade, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots, and they're going to be firing into this brigade skirmish line. They've got 2 hits, so 1 casualty on them. And finally the Swiss, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice at the same target. There's that same brigade skirmish line. What can the Swiss do? 2 hits, so 1 casualty. And so now the skirmishing erupts all along the line for the Prussians. We'll start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they're shooting into cover, so back down to 5. 1 single hit, so nothing there. Now the Schützen, 5, skirmish tasking 7, rifles 8, shooting into a BUA, or sorry, a strong point. So they're going to drop 2 dice. So they're firing 6, but they do have that skirmish tasking. Only 2 hits, but hey, that's still 1 casualty on these guys here. 3 here, so that's 4. They're shooting into this light infantry skirmish line. 6, 5, 4. Well, they've all hit. So that's 2 hits. So that's going to be a base off. And then finally we have 4, 5, skirmish tasking 7. And they're going to be firing. They're going to shoot into this same target. That's cocked. Okay. They've only got 2 hits, so that's 1 casualty. So that's all the skirmish fire done. So let's go on to artillery fire. So we have the battery over here firing at this Prussian infantry column here. Inferior shot 7, that's going to be 1 hit. So they got to 2. So bit by bit they're pecking away. Now to the other French artillery, which will only be the artillery of the foot guard again. So again, it's this battery. Actually, they're not hesitant. It was the
the Swiss and the 6-pounders that are hesitant. So these 12-pounders aren't hesitant, and neither are these. But we'll do the guard artillery first. So they're on artillery assault. They're going to fire at these chaps down here. The red dice are the shooting dice. The white are the CDs. Okay, 9 and 5. This time it's 3, so 3 casualties. So, sorry, 9 is 1 casualty, 5 is 1, so it's 2. So they go up to 3, I should say. So they've gone up to 3. And now the 12-pounders, they'll fire as well. Same target. 5. So no hits, but at least they haven't harmed themselves. So ineffective fire from the 12-pounders. These 12-pounders up here, they must have had some dodgy powder or something. So now these Prussian guns here are going to open fire. So the target is, again, the 6-pounder battery. These guys will shoot with red dice. These guys will shoot with black dice. These guys have artillery assault, so they will have the white dice as their CDs. Okay, whoa, that is wicked shooting. 12 from these guys, 9 from those guys, plus 2 hits. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and I think that will be 2 or 3 as well. Yeah, consulting the handy-dandy Battlefield Accessories widget. Inferior battery, 2, did not move. Rolled a 12, did not move. So 10 plus, that's another 2. So that's all up. That's 5 casualties on that 6-pounder battery. And they're going to go up to 8 casualties. So they've really been just hammered. So this poor 6-pounder battery hasn't fired a single shot, is already up to 8 casualties. They've really been receiving the wrath of the God of War. We'll now do the Destiny roll, because we rolled a 12 and 4. Well, essentially, the closest unit receives 2 CDs, which will be this Swiss battalion here. So they'll take 2 CDs worth of damage. Oh, they got off lightly, no hits at all. Oh, I almost forgot. They have to do a discipline test. So that 6-pounder battery, they're now worn, so they'll have to test as recruits. 9, they've passed. So, so that was pretty ghastly. So that's all the shooting. There's no more firing to be done in this turn. No volley fire, and no one. Yeah, we've covered everything here. So that concludes turn 2. Moving on now to turn 3. Now we're going to roll for Blücher's core orders, and he has them all to choose from. And now for Davout, all but red. Now, ADC availability, the French 12th Division, they've got 4. Now the French 13th Division with their 2 brigades, so 3 dice. They have 3. Now the French Guards, they have 2. So in the 13th Division with their 4 ADCs, a reroll for the 51st Regiment, they've passed. A reroll and skirmish for the Light Infantry Regiment, I've got the reroll, they've passed. The Swiss, they're just going to go with skirmish with no reroll. Ugh. And they've gone hesitant. No reroll for this brigade, this 1st Brigade within the 13th Division. Hesitant. But the 2nd Brigade is going to have a reroll and artillery assault. So they've passed. For the Young Guard, they've got 2 ADCs, and they're just going to give 1 reroll to each of their brigades. So the Tréliers of the Guard with the artillery attached, they've passed. And the Voltigeurs of the Guard, they failed, but they do have their reroll.
And they've passed. Now we'll roll for the Prussian Guards Brigade. They've got 3 ADCs, possibly. But they've only got one now. The 1st Infantry Division. Oh, one. And the 2nd Infantry Division. These chaps over here. They've got 3. So 1, 1, 3. For core orders, Blücher is going to allocate a core ADC to the 2nd Brigade of the 1st Division so that they can attempt the skirmish tasking. The Guards Division has gone with a skirmish tasking. He is bold, so he gets 2 dice, and he's passed. This brigade here, the 1st Brigade, 1st Division, no taskings at all, but they have passed. And this guy here, 2nd Brigade's 1st Division, they've just gone for a re-roll because they've got the artillery attached and they don't want them going hesitant. And they've passed. Oh, and don't forget, because of that core ADC, they've also got the skirmish tasking as well. So that's worth noting. The 1st Brigade of the 2nd Infantry Division, they've gone artillery assault and a re-roll. And they've passed. And the 2nd Brigade, commanded by a poor brigadier, they just have, well, they've got nothing, but they've still passed. And so all the Prussian brigades are obeying orders. So it just seems that Blücher's command and control has been consistently better than the French so far in this game. So now it is, I think it's 10 a.m. or is it 9:30? It's a turn 3 anyway. I'll check the time in a minute. So Davout has decided for his core order, he's going to use the blue option. He's going to ride the line and he's going to remove the hesitant from this brigade. The reason he's doing that is because with 2 hesitant brigades, he would be required to roll 3 dice and take the lower 2. But with only 1 hesitant brigade, he only has to roll 2 dice. So that evens the odds that he will, well, actually improves the chances that he will get the initiative, because any ties, the French win. So he'll ride the line. That does mean that he won't be able to ride the line next turn. That order is taken out of the equation. So when we roll for core orders in turn 4, there'll be no blue die rolled for Davout because he was busy riding the line. So now we're going to roll for initiative. Both sides are rolling 2 dice. The Prussians will be black, the French will be white, and the French have the initiative. So we'll take this opportunity to have a bit of an overhead view, a eagle eyes view as it was. Let's just pan around the whole battle in its entirety. As you can see, quite obviously, most of the fighting now is around La Haye Sainte. We can see the Guards division here, and their heavy skirmishers are out trying to drive in the French skirmishers and do some damage to the garrison before the assault goes in. The 1st Brigade of the 1st Prussian Infantry Division is here. There's the brigade skirmish line. The 2nd Brigade, 1st Infantry Division, there's their skirmish line, skirmish tasking, and their battery is back here, pinging away. Then we have the 2nd Prussian Infantry Division. There's their 1st Brigade, and there's their 2nd Brigade, and he's commanded by a poor brigade commander. I think in the first battle, it was this guy that was classed as poor, but today it's this chap over here. As for the French, the Young Guard around Mont, and then on Mont Saint-Jean we see the French. Now in turn 4, that core artillery reserve will be brought up. Now where Davout will deploy it, well, let's keep that a bit of a mystery for the time being. But yeah, that's the situation.
So let's continue with turn 3.
Okay, so yeah, just confirming, it's now 9:30 and we're going to be fighting through till 10 in this turn. Charge declarations, there are none at this point, so now we're going to go straight on to movement. French have the initiative, so they will move first. So let's have a look at movement. The French skirmishers here just hunkered down. They're not really doing much. They're holding their ground. There's very little movement until we get to this point here. The French initially were holding their ground, but in the Prussian movement phase, they're pushed forward, which in turn has pushed these skirmishers back. The Swiss sidestepped to their left, and the 6-pounder horse artillery battery that was here decided that discretion was the better part of valor, and they have withdrawn behind their infantry. And the voltigeurs of the guard have decided something's afoot, and so they're starting to march off to the far right flank of the French line. And so here's this battery that's pulled back. They've done an emergency limber and withdrawal. The Prussians, for their part, as you can see, the 2 infantry brigades from the 1st Infantry Division are starting to push now. They're trying to bully their way past Haye Sainte, and looks like they're shaping for an assault onto the position held by the Swiss. A lot of the Prussian main effort at this point is clearly on Haye Sainte and isolating the French 12th Division by the looks of things. So let's get into shooting. Okay. French skirmishers first, 3 bases, 4 dice, and they're going to shoot at this brigade skirmish line. 2 hits, 1 casualty. The garrison, 5 dice normally, but they're shooting at these troops in cover, so they're going to go down to 4. They'll shoot at the Schützen. 1 single hit, which is nothing. This then takes us to the brigade skirmish line. 1, 2, 3, 4 bases, 5 dice, skirmish 7. So 7 dice into the brigade skirmish line directly to their front. 2 hits, 1 casualty. That will remove a base. And then finally, we have the Swiss skirmishers shooting into, well, they'll shoot into this battalion here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. Wow. 4 hits. So 2 casualties on these chaps here. Okay, so the Swiss really unleashed some hate. So now it's the Prussians' turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into cover. Back down to 5. And like for like, that's 4 hits, 2 casualties. That's 1 base off. This brigade skirmish line is now reduced just to 2 bases. Now, the Schützen in the woods. 5 skirmish tasking, 7 rifle armed, 8 shooting into cover, 6. Oh, look at that, all those 1s. Okay, nothing. And then we have a brigade skirmish line of 3, so that's 4 dice. They're going to shoot at the light infantry brigade skirmish line from these guys here. So that's 4 dice. That's 2 casualties, that's 1 hit. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 hit so far, or 1 casualty, I should say. 2 casualties. Okay, so that's going to be a base and a carryover of 1. Actually, it was just a base here because they had 1 casualty, so I thought they were carrying 2, but it was 1. So just a base off from that brigade skirmish line. No one's going to shoot at these skirmishers because they want to keep going forward and don't want to risk losing momentum. So they'll keep advancing. There's no other skirmishers in range, so now we go to artillery fire, and we'll start with the French because they have the initiative. So this battery again, same target.
inferior because of the range. Whoa, 11. So that's going to be 2 hits. So they'll go up to 4. And they have to do a discipline test. So a discipline test for these chaps, they are, they're veterans, so they should be fine. Well, 6. Veterans on 6. I think they just scraped through. Veterans, yeah, pass on a 6. So that was close. The two 12-pounder batteries, the Guard and the 13th Infantry Division's battery, they're going to open fire, but this time they're going to fire onto this battery here because they're on artillery assault, and they might do some damage, and they don't want that damage done. The Guards will be the red dice, the 13th Division's battery will be the black dice, and the white dice will be the CDs. Okay, no hits from them. 1 hit there and 1 hit on this. So that's a grand total of 2 hits on this battery here. Okay, so this battery on artillery assault is going to fire at the Swiss battalion here. So the white dice will be the CDs. Oh, so far so good. Okay, 7 is going to be 1 hit, and 2 6s from the CDs. That's going to be 3. So 3 hits all up. These guys want to continue putting the hurt on the same battalion. So let's see what they can add to the equation. 8. So that's another 1. So that's a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits on this battalion there. Unfortunately, no discipline tests, but you take what you get. Now, there is 1 bounce through dice from this battery onto that column. The other battery, actually there should be 2 bounce through. So 2 bounce through onto the column to the rear. 1 hit. 1 hit on the column to the rear. That's all the shooting because there is no volleys to be conducted. And we're moving on to turn 4, and this sees the arrival of the Corps Artillery for Davout. Okay, start of turn 4, and we're going to roll for Corps Commander's orders. For the Prussians first, red, white, black, and blue, and they've got all but the blue. Now Prussian ADC availability. The Guards Corps, the Guards Division. All right, they've got 2. The 1st Infantry Division, they've got 3. And the 2nd Infantry Division, well, they've got 4. Okay, so now let's do, we'll just allocate ADCs and the like, and then we'll do the French. Okay, so the CNC, the Corps Commander's task is sappers, and he's given that to the Guards Division. The Guards, with their 2 ADCs, have used both to invoke Post of Honor, so they've got that going for them. For the 1st Infantry Division, their 3 ADCs, 1 for a reroll and 2 for artillery assault. And for the 2nd Infantry Division, their 4 ADCs, 1 for a reroll with artillery assault, and the Corps Commander has been given a reroll. So that's it for the Prussians. We'll go now allocate ADCs and establish Corps orders for the French, and then we'll roll to see which brigades obey orders. Okay, Davout's Corps orders. He's got them all. Red, white, black, and blue. So he can choose anything he wants. Okay, so now the 12th Infantry Division. They're 5 ADC tasks, 5 ADCs, and they have 4 available. Now, the 12th Division, they've just gained the Artillery Brigade. That Corps Reserve of Artillery is classed as a brigade, and so they get all of that coming on. So they now have 3 brigades, 2 infantry and 1 artillery, so that gives them 4 dice. So they've gained an ADC, and they get 3 And now finally the Guards Brigade. They have 4 dice. And they've got 3. Okay, so Davout's core order will be the same as Blücher's. He's giving sappers to the 12th Infantry Division, and they'll be used by the brigade that's defending Haye Sainte. The 4 dice for the 12th Infantry Division, they've given skirmish, glory, and a re-roll to the Light Infantry Brigade, and they've given a re-roll to the Swiss. For the 13th Infantry Division, which consists of this brigade and the Artillery Brigade, 1 re-roll for each brigade. Finally, the 3 ADCs for the Young Guard Division, they've given a re-roll to each of their brigades, and they're using 1 ADC as scouts. So now we'll roll for the 12th Infantry Division. Like I said, they've got sappers allocated to them. They've got a re-roll, they've got glory, they've got skirmishes, and they've got a re-roll for the Swiss. So we'll do the 51st Brigade first. They've just got well, they've gone hesitant. They were just rolling neat. The Light Infantry Brigade, they've got the re-roll, glory, skirmishes, sappers. Okay, they're good. And finally, the Swiss with a re-roll, they're good. All right, so they only have 1 hesitant brigade in the 12th. So now we're rolling for the 13th Division. The newly arrived Artillery Brigade, we'll roll for them. They're fine. The 1st Infantry Brigade, they've got a re-roll. They're fine. And the 2nd Infantry Brigade with the 12 pounders, they're fine. Now for the Young Guard, the Tirailleurs of the Guard with their artillery attached, they're good. And the Voltigeurs of the Guard, they're good. All right, so we only have 1 hesitant brigade, so there'll be no additional dice for the French. They do have scouts, so that will give them a re-roll on initiative. Let's do the Prussian. We don't have to roll for the Prussian Guards Brigade because they are automatically obeying orders, so that's okay. This brigade here from the 1st Infantry Division with a re-roll, they've passed. This brigade here, actually they don't have a re-roll, but anyway, they passed. This brigade here with a re-roll and artillery assault, they've passed. This brigade here with a re-roll and artillery assault. Oh, they've gone hesitant. So they'll lose that artillery assault. And finally, the poor brigade commander with his re-roll. The entire 2nd Infantry Division has gone hesitant. So now we roll for initiative. The Prussians will be black. They're rolling 3 dice because they have 2 hesitant brigades. The French are the white and red dice. Both will have 1 re-roll each. The French because of scouts, and the Prussians because of posts of honor. Okay, so the 2 lowest is... Okay, the Prussians have the initiative at this point. The French will re-roll their 1, hoping to get... they got a 2. Okay, so the Prussians are not going to use their re-roll for post of honor. So that means the Prussians have the initiative. Well, charge declarations for the Prussians, obviously. The Guards Division is going in with this brigade here. There's no other infantry charges anywhere to be had, and there's no charges from the French. So let's get the charge underway. So in they go, charging forward. The defenders do have skirmisher. They are charging, however, through woods. They've used their forward bonus, the post of honor, so they can get through the woods and into contact. So they will shoot out. 5 dice is the garrison. They gain 2 for the skirmishers. There's 7, but they drop 1 because of the woods. So 6 dice. And they've got 3 hits, which equals 1 casualty on that lead Prussian Guard battalion. So that's the charge taken care of, and now we'll go into movement. Prussians moving first because they have the initiative. Okay, so for the Prussian movement, the Jaegers of the Guard, being a close order, independent light infantry battalion, they don't have to remain within 18 of close order troops, so they've skedaddled across to here. The brigade skirmish line is simply sidestepped to the left to fill the void. Obviously, the Guards infantry brigade is charging in. Over here, the 1st Brigade of the 1st Division is advancing in a series of columns, and the 2nd Infantry Brigade, 1st Infantry Division, is also advancing as well. I'll go to an overhead shot and you can have a closer look of what's happened. It should be noted the advance of these columns here is driving back the Swiss and the light infantry brigade skirmish lines. Okay, so this is a top-down drone view. As you can see, like I said, there's the Schützen battalion moving off to the right, the brigade skirmish line, and then we have the Guards infantry brigade charging in towards La Haye Sainte. 1st Brigade of Infantry, they're heading towards the ridge at Mont, and the 2nd Brigade, they're also advancing forward as well, driving in this Swiss skirmish line and this light infantry skirmish line. And because the 2nd Infantry Division, both brigades are hesitant, there's been no movement over there. Even the brigade skirmish lines have remained static. So now we go to the French on-table tactical movement. The brigade skirmish line that was here was reduced to 2 bases, so they've just pulled back, not disbanded. They've just pulled back because they can be augmented by one of these French line battalions. That's a handy trait for the French, the tirailleurs trait. The light infantry brigade, all that's happened is their brigade skirmish line has been pushed back, and so they've maintained their 3 inches from these chaps here, and also they've come back, giving ground begrudgingly as these Prussians advance on them. They can still shoot though, so that's nice. The Swiss, they advanced slightly, and the one of the battalions has formed line in support of the 2 lead battalions. No movement within the infantry brigades of the 13th Infantry Division, but the Guards, their brigade skirmish line that belongs to the voltigeurs of the Guards, is moving through Mont because they need to close up on the formed troops of their brigade, which are the voltigeurs moving around Mont. And that's all the on-table tactical movement. Now we'll do the off-table movement, which will see the artillery brigade, the Corps Reserve, is coming on, and they're going to come on from this central sector here. They could come on anywhere, but they're going to come on here and deploy into this gap here. To that end, this brigade skirmish line might move off to a flank. So they've ridden forward like the good horse artillery they are, and they've deployed in support of, closely to the Swiss, but they can obviously support their brigades from their parent division. So that's where they are now. That brigade skirmish line that was stationed out here has pulled back to its parent brigade. So that's all the movement done. So now shooting. The only skirmish fire for the Prussians will come from the brigade skirmish line from their 2nd Brigade, 1st Infantry Division. These guys are just over 12 inches away from any eligible targets. So it's 3 bases, 4 dice, shooting at the Swiss brigade skirmish line. 3 hits. That's going to be 1 casualty on these skirmishes. So the only fire from the French skirmishes, the BUA has already fired, the strong point I should say. La Haye Sainte, they fired, so it's going to be these guys here and these guys here. So these guys here, 3 bases, that's 4 dice, shooting at the column and coming towards them. 5, 2 to 1, no hits. And now 4 bases, 5 dice. They'll shoot at this battalion here. 6-4. Okay, it's going to be just one. It's 2 hits, 1 casualty, and it'll go on this battalion here. Yes, this battalion here is just slightly more advanced, so that's why I've picked on them. Now, the Prussian plan for the artillery assault was initially to give these Swiss here a really good kicking prior to the assault by these guys. By advancing forward ever so slightly, they've come within 12 inches of these guys, so now they can't hit them. They could fire upon these guys or the artillery battery. So they're going to fire. They're going to fire on this battery here that's just come up because these are obviously also a threat to the advance of these chaps. So it's going to be an artillery assault fire from the Prussian battery onto this battery that has just arrived and unlimbered. So it's an inferior shot. Red is the shooting dice. The white ones are the CDs. Artillery assault. 5. Well, that's nothing. But they do get 2 hits on this battery from the casualty dice. So these 12-pound, the Guard artillery are going to fire onto the hesitant Prussian artillery. Just an inferior shot. 4. They've just hurt themselves. And now these chaps here will also fire onto the hesitant Prussian artillery. 6. Nothing. So that was that achieved nothing, except the Guard artillery has hurt themselves. Volley fire. So there's no volleys to be delivered by anyone, so now it's hand-to-hand combat, and we're going to resolve this battle for La Haye Sainte. Okay, so the Prussian Guard battalion that's leading the charge, I'm pretty sure that's the 1st battalion, or I'll just check. It might be the 2nd. Either way, they're elite. No, that's the 2nd. They are elite. So they get 5 for their unit, and they get 1 for elite and veteran versus lower grade. So they are elite and they are veteran. So they're elite versus lower grade. So that's +1 there. They get 2 for post of honor. That's the glory. They get another 1 under the infantry modifiers for being elite, and they get 2 for sappers, but they lose 1 because they're attacking a strong point. So they'll have 6, 4, 10. 10 dice. So we're going to roll them, and then we're going to roll to see what the French do in response. So it's 10 dice for the Prussian Guards, hitting on 4 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they've missed with 4. So they've inflicted 6 hits. Now let's see what the French can do in response. Okay, so the chaps in the BUA, they've got 5 dice for their unit. They get 2 because of the sappers attached, and they get 1 for glory. So they've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see what they can do in response. All combat is simultaneous, so those 6 casualties don't count yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa. Okay, so they've given 5 in response. So, in strong points, you don't get other battalions pitching in, I'm pretty sure. I think you just fight with what you got. Anyway, they've inflicted 5. They've lost by 1 in a garrison fight. Infantry versus garrisons. First round, unformed, fight on. So they're going to fight on. Both battalions are just absolutely battered. The Prussian Guards are now up to 6 casualties, so they're worn. Veterans inside the BUA, they are now on 7 casualties. Okay, here's a critical thing I just noticed. Post of honor, they recover 1 casualty as they were going in. So initially they had 1 casualty, then they charged, had the hand-to-hand, gained 5, went up to 6. But in post of honor, when you charge in, you recover 1 casualty. So they're at 5. This is critical because they are no longer worn. They're close to worn, but they're not worn yet. Unfortunately for the French garrison, they are worn. Okay, glory still counts in the 2nd round of combat. Sappers still count in the 2nd round of combat. Strong points, reinforcements from neither side, neither defender or attacker can pitch in. So we're going to have these guards again fighting against those chaps in the BUA. Both units are going to be unformed, so both will suffer a loss there. Being a strong point, however, they still keep that -1 on the enemy attacking a strong point. So let's go through the whole process again. Oh, this is just brutal. Okay, again, the Prussian second Guards, 5 for the unit, 1 for being elite versus lower grade, another 1 for elites in the infantry modifiers, 2 for the sappers, 2 for post of honor, but they're going to lose 1 because they are now unformed, and they're going to lose another 1 because they're second round fighting in a strong point. So that gives them 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 dice this time. 1 less than before because of being unformed. 1, 2, 3. This one's cocked. 4. 4 hits. So they've now inflicted 4 on the garrison. Let's have a look at what the French have in return. Okay, so in response, 5 dice for the unit, 1 for glory, 2 for the sappers, but they're unformed and they're worn. So they're down to 6 dice. 1, 2. 2 hits in response. They've lost by 2 in this case. So infantry versus garrison, +2 victory. Winner takes the ground unformed, and the loser will retreat. Troops retreating out of BUAs do not unform friends, so they're just going to go there 18 inches to the rear. But the brigade commander has going to have to test to see if he falls off his horse. A 1 is bad, 5 he's fine. But this unit is now up to 11 casualties, so they're just 1 away from being dispersed, and the Prussian guards are up to 7, so they're worn. So that concludes turn 4. So now we're moving on to turn 5. The garrison's in there with their 7 casualties. They're unformed, and the French garrison driven out, 11 casualties, unformed. They fought hard, but just could not hold back those Prussian guardsmen. As usual, we'll start with Corps Commander's orders for the Prussians. Blücher has got red, blue, and black. And Davout, blue and black. So we'll roll for the Prussian Guards. They've got 1. Okay, so Prussian 1st Infantry Division. Okay, they've got 3. And the Prussian 2nd Infantry Division, they've got 3. Okay, so now we'll roll for the French 12th Infantry Division with their 5 possible ADCs. And they've got 3. The 13th Division, they have a possible 4 ADCs. And they've got 3. And finally, the Guards Brigade with their 4 possible ADCs. And they've got 3. So that's easy. 3 all. So 12th Infantry Division with their 3 ADCs. They're going to spend 2 for a CNC command. Stand with me. Sorry, now's your time, because he fears that there's going to be an attack on this Swiss brigade. The 3rd one is going to be given to the 51st Regiment. That brigade is going to get a re-roll. As for the 13th Infantry Division, they've got 3 ADCs currently, but they're going to use Chief of Staff, which means they automatically gain 2 ADCs, and they get to re-roll the 2 that they missed. So we'll take care of that now. And they get both of them, so they are flush. They have a grand total of 7 ADCs. All right, now we'll allocate the ADCs, and then we'll roll for initiatives. Okay, so for the Guards Brigade, they have 1 ADC, and they're going to use it to call forward their reserves. He's not bold or anything like that, and they only have 1 ADC, so, well, that's paid off. So the cavalry's coming on. The Infantry Brigade, though, that is a bold commander, so they get, they'll just roll to see if they activate, but being bold, yep, he's fine. He can choose which one he wants. Okay, This brigade here, they're using the CNC, the Corps Commander task that they're going to use is a red order, Corps ADC. They're going to give the option for this brigade to conduct an infantry assault without a reroll. 6, and they've got it. This brigade, the divisional commander is going to use post of honor. It costs them 2 ADCs, but that means this brigade is obeying orders. So that includes them and their artillery. So they've got post of order, so it's a post of honor, so they're obeying orders. So next brigade along, just a slight correction. I got that back to front. It's this brigade here has the Corps ADC with infantry assault. It's this brigade that has the post of honor. The reason for that is one is within 12 inches. This one is not. So clearly it needs the forward bonus. That's why they got the post of honor. So the dice roll stand. I'm just flipping them over to the way they should be. One of the perils of playing solo and trying to film and all the rest of it. So yes, so that's where we're at. So just to be perfectly clear, 1st Division, 1st Infantry Brigade, they received post of honor using 2 ADCs, infantry assault with their 3rd, and then the 2nd Brigade, they got the Corps order, Corps ADC, and no reroll for their infantry assault. The 1st Brigade, 2nd Division, they just have a reroll, and they've passed. 2nd Infantry Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division, they're just going for a reroll, and they've passed. There's one other ADC left, and that is for the Cavalry Brigade from the 2nd Infantry Division, and they're using reserves without a reroll. And they've not arrived, so they're not coming on. Right, so now let's go and have a look at the French. So the 1st Brigade we're going to roll for is the 51st Infantry Regiment, 1st Brigade of the 12th Infantry Division. They've got a re-roll. Oh, in the box, or it doesn't count. Double 1. Okay, so they're hesitant. Not a good start. The Light Infantry Brigade, it doesn't have a re-roll. Oh, they're gone hesitant. The Swiss are automatically obeying orders because of post of honor. Let's now go to the Artillery Brigade, 13th. They have artillery assault with a reroll. 2. 5. Okay, they're obeying orders. This infantry brigade in the rear with a reroll. Oh, geez. Yep, they're obeying orders. And this infantry brigade with a reroll. They're obeying orders. The 7th ADC is being used as scouts. That just leaves the Prussian guards. So trilliers of the guard, they're obeying orders. Voltigeurs of the guard, they've got a reroll. They're obeying orders. And finally, the Guard Cavalry Brigade have been given a deploy order. They also have increased forwards from the Corps Commander. So, and he is bold. So, oh, double 1. And so the Guard Cavalry failed to arrive. So after all that, the French will be rolling 3 dice, taking the lower 2, but have a re-roll because of the Scouts option. The Prussians are rolling 2 dice, but they do have a re-roll thanks to post of honor. Okay, the Prussians have rolled a double 6. That gives them an extra CNC's command for them to use with any brigade they want. 12 versus a double 1. Even if we re-roll, there's no way they can equal. Well, geez. Okay, and so the Prussians have the initiative. Oh, and I've quickly consulted the rules. That's what these chaps here are doing. Everyone knows that generals don't gather around maps. They gather around the rule book. And I consulted the rules. The post of honor re-roll for initiative only applies in divisional level games. So it wasn't required in this in this particular instant, but if it was, it would not have been allowed to be used. So yeah, Post of Honor only grants a reroll in divisional games when we're talking about re-rolling a die for initiative. The first charge we're going to look at is this one here with the Post of Honor. 9 inches plus the 3-inch bonuses, 12 gets them to there. They get 6 with the forwards plus 2d6. That's less than 6 inches, so I don't need to roll the dice. They're going to achieve the desired movement. So we'll move to within 3 inches, and then we'll do the responses from the French. So as these boys come charging forward, the skirmishers evade back, and as they go, they shoot, and then these guys deliver a volley. So we'll do the skirmishers firing first, then we'll do the volley. This is a small regiment. Being hesitant has no effect, but it is small, but they are veterans. So let's see how that all plays out. The skirmishers will fire first. Pop, pop, pop. 3 bases, 4 dice. That's pretty good shooting. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4 hits, so that's 2 casualties on them as they go in. So that's pretty good. So now we do the volley from these guys here. Okay, so now they deliver their volley. Now we'll roll to see what the result is. They are infantry in line, so it's a standard volley. There's nothing for being small. They are veterans or drilled in line, 1 CD, and they're firing an infantry column charging at 3 inches. So that's another CD. So 5, not good, but they get a hit there. So that will cause a 3rd hit on them. 5, standard volley, 5, that's 1. So that's another 2. So it's 4 hits all up. So let's go through the charge process now. At least these guys will have a negative modifier against them for taking 3 or more casualties in the charge. So the situation is these guys are going to roll 3 dice, take the lower 2, but they do have a re-roll for these supports here. These guys here roll 2 dice. They have no re-rolls. These guys are a target of a charge, so they can't provide support. These guys back here are still unformed, so they can't provide a support. These guys are over 3 inches away, so they can't provide a support. And skirmishers can't provide a support. So, Prussians rolling 3 dice, taking the lower 2, have a re-roll. The French rolling just 2 dice, taking what they get. Okay, so the French have rolled 7, and the Prussians have rolled 5, 5, and 1. They have to take the lower 2, which is a 5 and a 1. They have the re-roll for the re-support. Obviously, they're going to take that. And that's what they're going to sit on. They're up by, in this case, they're up by 5, I wish. They're up by 2. So I think that's going to be a combat with alarm. Let's have a look here. We should check. Mind you, the French do get another re-roll. Formed veteran or grenadier versus lower quality troops. So the French can re-roll the 3, and they would be silly not to at this stage. Oh, okay. Maybe they wouldn't have been silly not to. Now they are at a disadvantage of 4. -4 or +4 for the infantry versus infantry. Take the ground, defender retreats, takes 4 CD casualties. All right, that was a pretty devastating charge. They've got no supports, so that's not going to have any effects there. Okay, so they've come through, these victorious guys have passed through and they've taken the ground. These guys have retreated, which will unform these again, but you can only be unformed once, I guess. These guys now are back here with a retreat marker on them. And now they've got to take 4 CDs worth of casualties as they retreat. And they take one hit. And now we have this charge, just a standard infantry assault, and they're going straight for this 3rd Battalion up on the high ground there with its red fanion. As usual, these guys will shoot before they evade, and then these guys will charge. Lead charge unit for the attackers will be this battalion here. They're slightly forward of everyone else, but that's not the reason. And they are carrying 3 casualties. The reason they're being allocated is because they will get supporting fire from the battery, so they'll want their buddies to take the licks instead of the lead charge. So he's going to be the lead charge unit, and obviously a support here and a support there. Right, so let's get the charge done. We'll move forward, but before we do that, we might as well get those shots from those skirmishers before they evade away. There's, how many bases there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 dice. 1, 2. So that is going to be 1 casualty, which will be obviously on the lead charge unit. So they're up to 4 now. Okay, so these guys are going to fire. They can't hit the lead charge unit, but they can hit this support. They'll hit them, and then they'll get bounced through onto the rear. Well, these guys, I guess, because it is canister, so it's a bit of a shotgun blast. So it's going to be standard fire. So red dice will be the shooting dice. They'll get 2 for canister. They'll get 2 for artillery assault, and they'll get an extra 1 shooting at an infantry column. And the purple dice that will be in here will be for the bounce through. So the red dice are the shooting dice, and everything else will be the CDs. Wow. Okay, so that's a 10. The bounce through's got through, and they've got 1 there, and then they've got another 2. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be about 5 hits. Yep. Standard battery 3. So 3, 4, 5, and a discipline test on this lead unit there, plus 1 casualty on them. You pretty much couldn't get any. You just can't get better than that. Well, yeah, I guess you could if those all hit, but that's a pretty good result for those French gunners. So I'll apply the casualties, and then we'll do the discipline test. Okay, so it's just a standard discipline test. They're not worn yet. They're pretty close. So they're a line quality unit. 12. Oh, they love it. I think they recover a casualty. The next thing to do is the shooting response by the lead defending unit. And then depending on how that goes, we'll decide whether or not they'll offer a re-roll, I think. Well, we'll see. So they're going to fire. These guys, are they within 3 inches? Is there a re-roll to the rear? Oh dear. Okay, these guys are too far back. They're not going to be able to provide a re-roll. These chaps might though. But they also have now's your time. So that will give them extra CDs in the shooting. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, so with now's your time, they get to volley with up to two extra CDs. And in the firing phase, these guys can volley with 2 CDs as well. Also, up to 2 units can recover 1 casualty. So they've gone from 4 down to 3. These guys have gone from 1 down to none. So they're now going to deliver their volley, and they're going to fire with 2 CDs, obviously. So they also get another CD because they're firing an infantry in column at 3 inches. So here's their volley. The red's the shooting dice. Okay, so they've got a 6 so far, so that's good. Plus 2 extra hits. Oh, an 11. That's going to be murderous. So 4 in a discipline test. 4, 5, 6. They have to be spread evenly, so that'll be 3 and 3. So now we'll do the discipline test for the lead charge unit. They'll be testing as recruits. 8. Oh, they've passed, so they're not unformed. We're getting greedy. So these guys, instead of offering a reroll, they're going to volley 2. Maybe with a bit of luck, they can destroy this unit here and make the brigade falter before they even get to hand-to-hand. So they're going to volley, as before, 2 extra CDs, plus a CD for firing at an infantry column at 3 inches. So the red dice are the shooting dice. 4. Okay, less than spectacular. 4 I don't think is anything, but they do get 2 hits on these chaps, so they will go up to 9 casualties. Man, that was really a whiff. 4 isn't a hit at all. A standard volley, firing 4. It's a fire discipline, so they've lost fire discipline. Okay, so now all the shooting has been done. We're now going to go on resolving the charge. These guys are going to have 1 negative modifier for them. So normally they would roll 2, but in this case they're going to roll 3 and take the lower 2. So we'll do that first, and then we'll go through what re-rolls they have. Sorry, they're rolling 3 and taking the lower 2. So let's do that first. Okay, 7. Now, as for these chaps here, they're going to be rolling 2. Let's see what they get. Okay, it's tied so far, 7 as well. But these guys have 2 re-rolls, 1 for the flank and 1 for the rear. These guys have 1 re-roll because they are grenadiers. Well, the Prussians will take one of their re-rolls first. Okay, 5. They're going to be happy with that. The Swiss Grenadiers, they're going to have to take their re-roll. All right, so it's 7 plays 9. That's a difference of 2. Combat with alarm, I think they will go with that. The odds of getting higher than a 4 are not good. So that's what we're going to stick with. They'll close and combat with alarm in the combat phase. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to movement phase. Okay, for Prussian movement, I'll do all the movement, both on table and off table, because there was no French off table movement, so there's nothing to conflict with it there. So for the Prussians, the Guard Light Infantry Battalion moved to the right out of arc of this battery because they're hesitant. So they've moved over here. The brigade skirmish lines entered into the sandpit. No real movement from the Prussian foot guard battalions, except this one's shimmying across to their left a bit. The 2nd Division has advanced off this ridge here, and the skirmishers advance aggressively in the centre. The French, for their part, the brigade skirmish line for the Voltigeurs has successfully moved through Hougoumont and are now in front of the apparent brigade, and the Tirailleurs of the Guard are moving off to the right. Other than that, really there's nothing much else to speak about from the perspective of the French. These guys here have turned to their right. Obviously the centre's been, their right flank is threatened, so they're a bit concerned about that. And that's it, that's all the movement done. So, and then for the off-table movement, the Prussian Guard Cavalry Brigade has arrived. 2 regiments of cuirassiers and a horse artillery battery. All right, so now we're into the shooting phase. We'll start with the Prussians, obviously. This Guard Jaeger shooting at these guys. 5 dice plus 1 for the rifles is 6. 1, 2. 2 hits, that's 1 casualty so far. We'll do these guys, might as well do these guys as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be another 6. So currently they've got 1 casualty on them, and now they have 1, 2 and a half. So that's another, so 3 all up. So 3 casualties on these guys from the shooting from the Jaeger and the Guard. Okay, so the next lot of shooting, the garrison, in the movement phase, these guards reordered. So it is 5 dice coming out of the garrison, and it'll be 4 dice coming from the Schützen. They're all going to fire on this battalion here. So that's going to be 9 dice total. Obviously, they're not combined. The garrison will roll with red, and the skirmishers will roll with the white dice. So it's 1, that's pretty good shooting. 2, 3 casualties all up. So yeah, 3 casualties on these guys here. And now finally, these skirmishers here firing into this Swiss line that has lost 5 discipline. 3 bases, 4 dice. Ugh, pretty bad shooting. Only 1 hit, so no casualties at all. Okay, so the next lot of firing is artillery fire. These skirmishers are out of range of them. So we'll start with these Prussian batteries here. This battery here is going to fire onto that 6-pounder battery, and this battery here will also, in all probably, fire on that 6-pounder battery unless they're driven off or something drastic happens. Okay, the red battery will be the battery on the right. Actually, we'll fire separately. So first of all, they're shooting at the 6-pounders. 5, that's nothing, but they didn't hurt themselves. These guys will fire at the 6-pounders. 8, so that's going to be 1 hit. So now we have the guard horse artillery. They're going to unleash onto that battery on the right as we look at it. Just an inferior shot. Whoa. Well, they are guard horse artillery, so they've rolled an 11. So that's going to be, I think, at least 2 casualties and a discipline test. We might as well do the discipline test for that Prussian battery there now. 6, they go unformed. So now we have the guard artillery and these chaps. They're going to fire onto this lead battalion here. So the guards will roll with red dice and these chaps will roll with white. They're both 12-pounder batteries, not that that makes any difference at this point. So yeah, well, guard will be red, these guys are white. 7, that's going to be 1 hit, and 5 is nothing, so at least they didn't hurt themselves, but 1 hit, and then bounce through onto that reserve battalion with a blue flag at the rear. It's got to be in the box, so it does nothing and nothing. There is one more battery to shoot. These guys here, even though they are hesitant, they can only fire directly to the front, so they can't engage the guard Schützen, but they can engage these chaps here. So they're skirmishers, so it's going to be inferior, and they will be firing canister. So white dice is the canister, and we'll use the red dice as the shooting dice. 7 and a 5, so that's going to be 2 hits all up. So that's going to remove 1 base and leave 1 carryover on these guys. So that's all the volleys taken care of now. That's all the shooting taken care of now. So now we go into the hand-to-hand phase. This is probably going to be critical. So in this situation, they'll have 5 dice. The Swiss, they'll have 5 dice. They lose 1 because they're worn, but they gain 1 because they're combating with Elan. They're not linear in 1808. These are Prussians after 1808, so they get the Elan for being in column. All right, so the Prussians will be the white dice, and the Swiss will be the red. 1, 2 hits by the Prussians and only 1 from the Swiss. So they win by 1. Winner takes the ground unformed, loser retreats. So these guys will go up to 8 casualties. They'll only have 1. Again, battered Prussian units driving off French units that seem to be giving ground without taking too many casualties. Okay, so an overhead view as we wrap up turn 5, moving on to turn 6. You can see over here the Prussian Guard, light infantry and skirmish line starting to envelop this French artillery. The Guard Infantry Brigade in Haye, Sainte, and to the rear. Then we have the 1st Infantry Brigade from the 1st Division, and they're pushing through here. And same with the 2nd Infantry Brigade of the 1st Division. this continuing phenomenon of battered Prussian units pushing out fairly fresh French Swiss units who seem to give ground with just the slightest of pushes. And then we have the situation developing over on the Prussian left, the French right, where it seems like Davout is going to have to do something of an offensive nature to take some of the pressure off. The problem that he has is his left flank and left center is starting to buckle, and then he has this threat of this advancing Prussian Guard cavalry coming in as well. So yeah, Davout's got it all to do in turn 6. So I think now's a good time to take stock of where we are at an operational level. What I've done here, this is the map of the area of operations, and what I've done here is each one of these little dice represents a division, and each dot on the dice represents how many infantry or cavalry brigades are within said divisions. So what we have here is Blücher's army at the moment, so the Guard and 1st and 2nd Infantry Division, and then we have for the French, we have the 12th, 13th, and then the Young Guard. Here's the cavalry brigade that Davout has placed to the rear to protect his rear, and here we have the Prince William Orange's division detached from Blücher. Down here at Quatre Bras, we have a brigade of Brunswickers, and here we have the brigade that was detached from the 13th Division, their original 1st Brigade at Nivelle. And then finally what we have is Napoleon and the Imperial Guard, and we have a brigade of British and Hanoverian troops. These marching towards the battle. And then, of course, we have the ongoing battle at that Steve is looking after at Low Saint Pierre, Low Saint Pierre, I think it's the name of the place, and that battle's going on there. So this is the situation at 6 o'clock in the morning. We're now at 11 a.m. So essentially, from 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock would get the Napoleon would now be in the vicinity of Nivelle, passing through Nivelle, and the Hanoverians and Brits would be in this vicinity here, either coming down this through this road here, 1, 2, or over here. The Brits are going to take the quickest route to get to the battle, so they'll probably be coming down this road here. So this is where all the troops would be at the commencement of turn 6. Now, from that, that means that the Imperial Guard and Napoleon are 1, 2, which is 5 hours away, and this brigade 1, 2, also 5 hours away. This cavalry brigade could, without a doubt, will cause some disruption to the arrival of the Hanoverians and the Brits, and without a doubt, if Prince William Orange is not committed to the battle in here, he'll obviously delay the arrival of Napoleon. So at turn 10, that's when decisions need to be made in regards to the French cavalry brigade in the rear and the Dutch, Belgian and Nassau division to the rear of Blücher's position. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there. We're going to end this video here because it's been going for over an hour and a half now, and I think much beyond that is just too much for people to watch. So we're going to wrap it up, and join us again in the next video where we're going to continue with this battle. I think it's on a bit of a nice edge at this stage of the game. it tends to be going Blücher's way, but Davout might be able to pull some irons out of the fire.